Welcome back to the WHHI-TV Daily News. With me now is Michael Kitchen, and he is a financial aid expert. And we are going to talk about FAFSA today. Of course, high school graduations are going on across the country at the moment, and kids are getting ready and planning for college in the fall. And FAFSA is one of those things that they have to do if they want to get some financial aid. So tell us a little bit about it and some of the deadlines that are coming up.
Yes, certainly. So FAFSA, it's the free application for federal student aid, and pretty much any kind of aid that you would get from the federal government, as well as a lot of the aid that you would get from your school or from your state, you would fill out this form first. So as the name implies, it's free. It opens every year, the October before the start of the academic year, and it's always recommended that you apply on as soon as possible, as soon as it opens, sometime in October, in order to get as much aid as possible, because some of these awards are done on a first come first served basis.
Okay.
So even though, for example, certain states will have their own deadlines as well. So South Carolina, for South Carolina's own grants, that deadline, I believe, is June the 30th, right as the new school year, right before the school year starts, rather. And that's fine. You could apply anytime before then, but really you would want to do it as soon as possible after October 1st, just in order to access as much aid as you can.
Okay. And I think one of the really important things to drive home is that it is free, because there are some sites out there that you could get on that are incorrect, and they're going to try and charge you a fee, and that's not the right form. So this is the free one. So we just want to make sure about that. So tell us a little bit about some of the information that people need to have gathered so that they can fill it out correctly.
Yeah, definitely. So basically, it's sort of the standard information that you would give for most forms. Your, identifying details, your name and address and all of that. But you'll also need to provide some financial information. If you're an undergraduate student, you're very, very likely, unless you're also a military veteran or married or in certain categories, you're more than likely going to be considered a dependent student by the federal government, which means that they're also going to want your parents' or guardians' financial information as well. And that'll be used to determine how much what's called your expected family contribution, or the amount that the federal government thinks that you would be able to handle on your own. And then for every school you apply to, they'll take a look at your FAFSA and what the federal government says is your expected family contribution. And based on that, they'll decide how much aid they're going to offer you. And this is all kinds of aid. There could be grants, there could be work-study programs where you get paid to work in college, and of course student loans as well, some of which are subsidized. You don't need to pay interest on them while you're in school or for the 6 months afterwards, and some are unsubsidized. You pay interest right away.
Yeah, and there just is so much out there, so this is really a great resource. And so just to kind of wrap up, there's some interesting statistics going on about how many forms are being submitted this year as opposed to a couple of years ago.
There was a big dip, and probably very much connected with the COVID pandemic, in the number of people applying, just going to college in general. And so, of course, that hit the FAFSA numbers. Now, FAFSA, you need to fill this out every year in order to get aid. So it's not just first-time students filling this out. It's also people who've been to college, are still in college. They're maybe in their third year or fourth year. So some people took gap years, or they were concerned, about the economic fallout from the pandemic. So we saw a big dip in the number of people going to college, and that's still manifest in the number of people filling out the FAFSA this year. Although if you look at high school students filling out the FAFSA, that's actually risen quite a bit. I believe if you compare it to two academic years ago, it's almost a 20% rise. And so this shows a big rebound in terms of interest in going to college.
Well, fascinating information, and thank you so much for being here to share it with us.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Thanks to everyone on the show today for their insights and contributions. As always, our production team is behind the scenes to make all of this possible. And of course, we are honored that you have chosen to share a part of your day with us. I'm Betsy McDaniel, and we'll see you for the next WHHI-TV Daily News.